As you know, yesterday was an international occasion, the International Day of Family. Though I spoke about this subject a couple of times this year, but since the title of talk for this year is Akhlaq, Sanat al-Akhlaq, and the family values and morality in family is very related to this subject, I like to address this issue again. It is important that United Nations General Assembly, that its mission is to focus on international peace and international law, human rights and justice in the world. All of a sudden this organization creates a resolution. This happened in 1994, almost 20 years ago, and asked the world to honor the family. Why? Why United Nations General Assembly mission is global and political reflects on the importance of family. Because even the diplomats and political leaders in the world, at least some of them, they realize that the first school of education is the family. That means even if you want to have peace and justice in the world, the first school is the family. Let us learn the lesson of love, lesson of peace and justice, lesson of confidence, communication, creativity, and contribution either to the community of the world starts from family. If United Nations realize that subject in 21st century, almost 21st century, the Holy Quran said this in 1400 years ago, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, qu anfusakum wa ahlikum nara. Community of faith, protect your family from nar. What is this nar? In our time, this nar can be drugs, it can be alcohol, it can be adultery, it can be abuse, it can be gambling, even smoking. It can be all kinds of sins. Protect your family from lying, from cheating, from jealousy, from pride, from hypocrisy. Anytime that you see the shaitan is coming, shut the door. Shut the door towards the shaitan and stop it. Because any of the sins can create a disease in the morality of the family. And these diseases can turn to a cancer to the point of no return. Yes, this is the most dangerous moral disease and moral cancer that the community of the world is facing. Why it is more dangerous? Cancer is cancer. Well, if it is physical, people feel it and they do something about that. It's very scary. La samhallah, somebody say, oh, now I got a cancer. If the person doesn't know it, may live even longer. The moment that somebody knows that he or she has a cancer, it may die even earlier because of the fear that the person is scared and more stressed. And that kills the person even earlier. But when we are dealing with the moral cancer, it is more dangerous. because there is no pain and there is no real warning. It's more dangerous because the person is suffering from moral cancer, but instead of suffering and feeling pain, he feels pleasure. He enjoys to lie, enjoys to cheat, enjoys to steal, enjoys to backbite. And this is why this cancer is much more dangerous than the physical one. The Quran says, ألهاكم التكاثر حتى زرتم المقابر كلا سوف تعلمون ثم كلا سوف تعلمون كلا لا تعلمون علم اليقين لترون الجحيم ثم لترونها عين اليقين. Yes. As a result of sin and spiritual disease, the people may visit their graves even before they die. Don't you see these guys, جماعة داعش for example, اليوم الماضي كان في الخبر دمرت مقام الصحابي الجليل أويس القرن وعمار بن ياسر في محافظة الرقة in Syria. This was a very beautiful shrine. It took many years with the help of Iranians and others. They made a huge, wonderful shrine for these great companions. And these criminals, they put bomb and then they recorded and they put it even in the YouTube and they say Allahu Akbar and they enjoy it. This is the cancer that I'm talking about. Moral cancer, religious cancer, social cancer, political cancer. And sometimes you wonder that, oh God, why is it that these poor people in Syria could pay that much price? Or in Iraq, like in Ann Arbor, other provinces, human beings have no value. Why? Don't they deserve to live just like us? Have communication like human beings? Whether Muslim, Christian, Shi'ia, Sunni, what's the difference? I was invited yesterday in Troy. There was a Boy Scouts of America. There was a big gathering, more than 500 people. And the celebration was to appreciate some of the commanders of Boy Scouts of America. And they had invited me as a Muslim sheikh. No any other Muslim in the gathering. Only one person from the community later on joined us. They had invited just Boy Scouts of America, all these troops and commanders, but they decided they knew me, some of them knew me from House of Wisdom. And I made a prayer and they're Christians. And some of them come to me and we are speechless, we don't know what to say. And they're so impressed. Although it is something from the Quran, of course, Quran and Isa and a combination of prayer, but all from the Quran. And I said, oh my goodness, how come those people can live like this? And then it's amazing that even one of those commanders, he spoke and he said that I've been in Boy Scouts for like 10, 15 years. Now I want to go home and just be a good father. Again, no matter where you go, you return to the importance of family. To be a good father, a good mother, a good husband, a good wife, a good child. Start from that area. Start from the point that the Rasul alayhi salam said, "Ad-dunya mata'un wa khayru mata'iha al-mar'atu salihah." The world is a gift, is a pleasure, and the most blessing thing in the world is to have a good family, a good wife, and obviously a good husband as well. Yes, family again. So many youth, when they want to marry, they focus only on emotional. They say, I love this person. The Quran starts from logic. Love is important, of course. But in Ayat al-Zawaj, it says, لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَفَكَّرُونَ. It's talking about marriage, but it says, if you reflect, if you think. Because logic should govern the love and emotion. What if you have a very beautiful wife? Oh, it's very beautiful. First of all, Allah made everybody beautiful. There's nobody that can say this person is ugly, whether man or woman. There's no ugliness in God's creation. But even with these material standards, what if somebody's body is beautiful, but the brain is not beautiful? The idea is not beautiful. The words and talking is not beautiful. The prayer is not beautiful. There is no taqwa, there is no haya, there is no spirituality. The behavior is not beautiful. The communication is not beautiful. So what if somebody is physically beautiful but everything else is ugly? How long you can last with this situation? We have to deal with all ugliness in all communication of thinking and talking and behaving and acting and everything, but the face apparently beautiful. After 2 months, you don't want to even look at it because you don't see any beauty anymore because everything else is ugly. There's a problem that some of the youth, because of that emotion, they are in istirjal, they are hairy, they want to marry. Unfortunately, we don't have a good network. Many times the youth come to me and say, Sheikhna, do you know anybody I want to marry? And sometimes we are able to help, sometimes not. We don't have a good system in the community. We don't have a marriage foundation. And this is why some of them are really in urgent situation. They are muftar and they marry right away. Al-ajalatu min ash-shaytan. When you do hurry, it's dangerous. Obviously, some people are so slow though. They don't want to marry. Are you married? Sometimes I ask somebody, are you married? Well, I have a girlfriend. Girlfriend, yeah. We've been friends for 15 years. What kind of relationship is this? Why you don't marry? They are afraid if they turn the friendship to marriage, they are going to divorce tomorrow. Because now they are friends, there is no responsibility, nothing, they are relaxed. But if they marry, then they are responsible and they can survive. So there is no balance, either too in hurry or too slow or too fast. And we have this problem. And this is why there is a huge, dangerous battle in front of the family. Fighting in the courts, things get ugly and so rude. Unfortunately, the laws of this country don't encourage marriage and good family either. It is kind of divorce, no fault divorce. It's legal. Even if you go online, just use your credit card, $250, $300, and you can divorce. Out of online, divorce online. Yeah, you just put your credit card, all the papers come to your house, and you go to the closest court, and you don't have to have any reason, no fault. That means doesn't have to be any fault for anybody. You just want to divorce. You like to divorce, and it's okay. Whether a husband or wife, and this is law in this country. And then what's going to happen? The kids after this marriage have two destinations, either jail or Jahannam. Even in this dunya, many of them, they get no support, no guidance, violence, and ending in jail. And then they lose their akhlaq and spirituality, and they may, la samhallah, go to Jahannam even after this world. This is why, brothers and sisters, if United Nations understand this, that should be a big wake-up for humanity, that family matters. The first school of love, the first school of education, the first school of fairness and peace matters. This is why the Quran says, رَبَّنَا هَبْ لَنَا مِنْ أَزْوَاجِنَا وَذُرِّيَّاتِنَا قُرَّةَ أَعْيُنٍ وَاجْعَلْنَا لِلْمُتَّقِينَ إِمَامًا. We make it like a prayer that, oh Allah, help us to have good family, righteous family. And generations to come, make them righteous. Not only us, we pray. Even a prophet like Zechariah, هنالك دعا زكريا رب هب لي من لدنك ذرية طيبة إنك سميع الدعاء. A great prophet, he is praying to Allah that please help me to raise a good family. And the dhurriya that comes after me, jail after jail, generation after generation, make them righteous. Yes, no matter how much we work, still we need to do the dua based on the Quran. Why? Because the challenge of children, the challenge of family is so serious. وَاعْلَمُوا أَنَّمَا أَمْوَالَكُمْ وَأَوْلَادُكُمْ فِتْنَةٌ. Wow, the Quran says it. That your family might be a fitna. Fitna in the sense of a tool of test. That Allah is testing you through your family. That's a huge challenge for you. إِنَّ مِنْ أَزْوَاجِكُمْ وَأَوْلَادِكُمْ عَدُوًّا لَكُمْ فَاحْذَرُوهُمْ. Sometimes your children, your family may turn to your enemies. So you have to be aware of this danger, aware of this challenge. وَإِن تَعْفُوا وَتَصْفَحُوا وَتَغْفِرُوا فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ غَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ. Though even if your children are your enemies, if your wife is your enemy, but still it's better to find a forgiving, a peaceful, a wise, and a better way to deal with this problem rather than violence and abuse and continuation of fighting. Still, af is better. Still, forgiveness is better, the Quran says. And when we go to the family life of the Prophet, we realize that although they were masoom, but they had this problem. It was not their fault. They did their best to make a good family. Some of them succeed and some of them failed. Quran gives us two examples. One example is Nabi Ibrahim. He is calling his son, يَا بُنَيَّ إِنِّي أَرَى فِي الْمَنَامَ أَنْ يَذْبَحُكَ فَانْظُرْ مَاذَا تَرَى. What was his answer? يَا أَبَتِ افْعَلْ مَا تُؤْمَرْ سَتَجِدُنِي إِنْ شَاءَ اللَّهُ مِنَ الصَّابِرِينَ. Ibrahim is calling his son, Ismail. Ismail, I saw in my dream that I must kill you. Are you ready? What do you think? He said, yes, Daddy, don't doubt. Do it. I'm ready. Wow. What kind of obedience? What kind of relationship? What kind of understanding between al-walid wal-walad? That the father wants to kill his son. And his son says, welcome, I'm patient, Baba, Pedar, Daddy, do it. I use different language, sometimes Farsi and Arabic and English that's mixed up. It says, do it. But then you have another example of Nabi Nuh. He is a prophet too. Ibrahim wants to kill his son, and the son loves it, obeys. But now the example of Noah, Nabi Nuh, he wants to save his son. قال يا بني اركب معنا ولا تكن من الكافرين. Please join the ark. Don't be stubborn. We want to save you. His answer, قال سآوي إلى جبل يعصمني من الماء. I don't need to come to the ark. I go on the top of the jabal, on the top of the mountain. The flood can't come there. I don't need you. I have jabal. Like some of the girls, some of the boys, they say, oh, now I have computer, I go to college, my parents are not educated. I have technology. Technology can save me. I don't need to go to the masjid. I don't need to pray. I don't need to listen to my parents. قال لا عاصم اليوم من أمر الله إلا من رحمه وحال بينهما الموج فكان من المغرقين. And Noah says, no, son, don't be stubborn. No one can survive today. join us in the ark. He continued his disobedience till he sank to the water and he died. It shows the challenge of the family, even at the level of the prophets. They do their best, but sometimes there are other factors. You can control your kids in the house, but what about the public school? What about internet? What about evil friends? What about evil influences? That's another thing. So to protect our family, brothers and sisters, we need to pray, but also we need to work hard. And this is one of the areas that House of Wisdom is doing that. Let us pray together first on Friday prayer. How many students are in Dearborn? Only in public schools. Only in public schools in Dearborn. There are 20,000 students from grade 1 to 12. Out of these, 14,000 are Muslims. 14,000 students in public school. I'm not talking about the colleges, universities, and the youth who are in the business. Just in the school. How many of those 14,000 students come to Salatul Jummah even when the school is off? I'm not talking about the school day. Where are they? Where are their parents? La walid wa la walad. You don't see the walid, you don't see the walad. You don't see the parents, you don't see the children. But then after 20 years, they come and they say, we want a miracle. I need to see the sheikh right now. Emergency, emergency. And they want to solve the problem that should have been solved 20 years ago. They want to solve it in 10 minutes. So we need to pray, brothers and sisters, but at the same time, we need to work hard to save our families. One of the areas that we are working is just the foster care that Hajj Jennifer is talking with these foster care agencies. And inshallah, we are going to have an orientation on May 31st. Do you know that in Michigan there are more than 100 kids, Muslim kids, living in non-Muslim family now? And only Allah knows the future. When they have khanzir, and when they have khamr, and when there is a danger of rape, and you can call it. But in this state, we have less than 10 Muslim families with the license. Because the court is not just going to give us the case just because I'm sheikh or you're muttaqi or faithful. No. They need to see our license. And this orientation is for this, that House of Wisdom is providing a class for the community members who like to receive a license. So when we face the situation, like the police come and pick up the kids, take them to non-Muslim families, then we have some Muslims licensed that they can receive the kids and we can save our families. وأقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم والسلام عليكم وإلى الصلاة إن الصلاة تنهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.